Round 7 of season number 15, and we are in Monaco. Sebo Campo on pole from Atari, and then it's Revo starting third. It's Leo starts fourth, and then Jaco Tiguanas and Carlos Collins. UK Ball is seventh, with Daniel Bodfasarov alongside. Dash Sanchez is ninth, then it's Lawless Leclerc, Yuki Suo, Marcus Nelson, and David Camino. T. Gabo in 14th, then it's Arnett Babness. His Pastor Maldonado is 16th, MF1 World 17th, Vashikian Tan, the next iWorld, Bob, then Theodore Schumacher, and Emil Rez. I'm gonna edit some settings here. So, after that incredible showing last time out in Long Beach, we've got another Philippine front row. All 5 lights go on. And the Monte Carlo E-Prix is green, and that's a very strong start from Sebastian Ocampo there. Revo coming under threat from Leo, deals with it pretty well. Up into second for the Italian number 7. Akari drops from second to third. Jaco Tiguanas getting past one pinnacle car. Leo's dropped down right back the order. He's gone down from 4th to 6th. Akari's being forced around the outside. He's going to have a chance of going down the inside to try and fight back against Jaco Tiguanas. But Tiguanas has held on to P3. And Lawless Leclerc has faced trouble. Leclerc with a time penalty. And we've got a track cleared notice. So we don't know who actually went into a bit of trouble. The other Mercedes now with a time penalty for causing a collision. That's Emil Rez right ahead of him. But out in front, it's Ocampo from Revo. As we look still with a midfield pack. Pretty much the back, and Bob almost riding the wall. Theodore Schumacher has hit the wall in that second sector. Truck's been cleared now, but he's lost his front wing. He will need to come into the pit to repair the front of his Skoda Volkswagen car. But it is Sebastian Ocampo from Revo from Tiguanas on lap 2 of 19. We have 2 announcements today then. The first one, as Theodore Schumacher comes into the pit, the first announcement is the post-season. We will have a post-season in season 15. How it's going to work is we won't have a new Constructors Champion, but we will have a regular series Drivers Champion and an overall Drivers Champion. To be eligible, you need to be top 10 in points after the Manila E-Prix. Then we have the calendar, which is on the Discord server. If you want to take a look at that, then you can. It's in the announcement page. And I do believe I should be able to send it on the discussion tab, the community post tab here on YouTube. So you can still take a look at the calendar if you want to. Sebo Campo setting the fastest lap, a 1:03.933. That Andretti looks rapid. We have also had a development freeze, but that wasn't the major announcement, as Leo's dropped all the way down to 8th. He's got quite a bit of damage on that Pinnacle car, and Leo's unable to use attack charge. He's had so much damage dealt to his Pinnacle car that he cannot use attack charge. He's going to need to come into the pits to change that, but he's going to be struggling so much. That's about 6 seconds a lap he's missing out on. Arnett Babness is now currently right behind him, and he's got quite a lot to use. MF1 World with a penalty for colliding. That is with Marcus Nelson. They went side by side going through one of the tightest parts of the calendar. Emil Rez right ahead of these guys, as they're still side by side. Marcus Nelson sending it down the inside. Lucky he hasn't hit the wall there, and he's still side by side, and he drives by the Skoda of MF1 World. He was going to be ahead anyway. As on to lap 4 of 19 we go. 15 laps to go as the Tiguanas and UK Ball both dive into pit lane. So let's take a look at how the number 89 crew can take the stop. In comes the number 89, and it's a relatively clean stop, slick stop. No stopping for a car ahead. So Akari now, he's going to have to chase down Revo if he wants to have any hope of fighting for a race win. Revo is actually trying to chase down Sebastian Ocampo as well. Theodore Schumacher is currently down in last place, well ahead of Vashikian Tan, and I do believe he should be ahead of Emil Rez soon as well. He's just set a new fastest lap of the E-Prix, currently in 21st place. And he does get ahead of Milrez just about. He's side by side. That Renault driver, there's a lot of talent in that number 6 car. But the fact that he's in a Renault hasn't really made too much of an impact when it comes to the championship or anything like that. Yellow flags in that second sector. U-Cable has collided with Bob, who seems to have slid into the wall. If not Bob, then it was iWorld. We're taking a look at the dashboard, and it was Bob. Akari and Camno into pit lane. Inet Bamness also comes into the pit. Many other drivers diving into pit lane. And U-Cable, he's gone very deep through there to stay ahead of Bob as he's come into the pit. So it's Revo from Sanchez from Leo. Leo still out there struggling, not just with his unbelievably worn softs, but with the fact that you cannot use attack charge at any point along the lap because of how much damage has been dealt to the car. As we see Revo now coming through the chicane, almost hitting the barriers. He's definitely weaving, definitely struggling with his mediums. Same with Dav Sanchez, as Leo's coming through the chicane now as well. It's very risky to stay out for 5 laps on soft, let alone mediums. As into the wall goes MF1 World. MF1 World has hit the barriers. His track's been cleared. Someone else definitely went into the barriers, and we believe it was Daniel Bogdasarov. It was not Bogdasarov, who has been passed by his teammate now, who tries to get past Sarah. Sky doesn't need to. And we've still got yellows down at that second sector. Marcus Nelson's been given a time penalty for causing a collision, and Theodore Schumacher has gone into the barriers, and he has not received any major damage. Leo has finally come into the pits, and the Pinnacle team should have fixed. Yes, they have fixed. It's the issue with the attack charge, so now he will be allowed to regenerate a lot of the battery, but he had nothing in the battery prior to that. He's got nothing now. Akari has been able to undercut Revo, but the undercut was so long out there that Revo's currently right behind him, and he will likely make one less stop than the 3 drivers ahead of him. Likely. We've got yellows in the first chicane, at this chicane again, and that we don't know who that's for. I don't know who that's for. It was in the second sector. It was either there or in the hairpin. And a lot of these collisions seemingly happening in the hairpin. Yeah, it was Theodore Schumacher, the reason why we had flags flying. Yeah, it was at the hairpin. Sebo Campo setting another fastest lap at 103.266. And he's definitely flying out there in his Andretti car. He's 5 seconds ahead of Jaco Seguranes as finally T. Gabo comes into the pits in the number 29 Nissan Nismo car. Almost hitting the barrier. That's how much tile where it actually impacts your race. As Leo, after all of this pit stop shenanigans, he's ended up in 11th from starting 4th on the grid. Revo setting a faster sector, trying to overtake Akari, who hits the wall. Both drivers hit the barriers. The track's been cleared, and Revo has lost out on an opportunity to try and take a podium position. Daniel Bogdasarov up currently in 12th place. He's got a fastest sector time to his name in that first sector. But Revo now, he's lost out on probably his best shot of making an overtake, as Theodore Schumacher currently in last. He came into the pits earlier. Dav Sanchez trying to get past U-Cable, and he hits the wall. But Dav Sanchez in the barriers. And that is the Rodin Toyota's day basically done. He's hit. And Bamness is the one to come off worst, getting a time penalty. And Bamness once again facing the wrong direction. And this is absolutely not what they wanted to say. Flipping his Inet Bamness, and it's a virtual safety car because Pastor Maldonado has flipped the Hyperdrive Mercedes, his powered car. And that is just how the Romanian driver's day is gonna have to end. Akari, by the way, currently in second because yes, Jaco Seguranes came into the pit while the virtual safety car was out. Revo currently 0.6 of a second down on Akari, but he is definitely gaining on the car ahead, who has roughly the same amount of wear to his tires. He's definitely managing his tires to try and go all out on his last few stints. He's just managing his tires very well, is the Philippine driver ahead of Revo. And we've got more yellows in the second sector. Track's being cleared according to race direction. And that was for, I guess, someone who went through there. It's from Marcus Nelson, reportedly. As Sebo Campo has come into the pits. Into the pits has come Sebo Campo and UK Ball and Neil Rez. Neil Rez got himself up into 7th there. Yuki Suo also in pit lane. That Renault driver is just all about finding himself in the right place at the right time to benefit from strategy decisions. Pete Gabo up into 10th position for Nissan Nismo. He's defending from Marcus Nelson, who gets past the Italian 29 car, but he's gonna have another shot going into Mirabeau. He's coming down at him, sending it back down the inside and taking 10th place away. But he's still there because Dav Sanchez is a threat to that position for Marcus Nelson. Sanchez sending it back down the inside after facing a little bit of turmoil. The only driver currently out of the E-Prix is Inet Babness with 10 laps to go here in Monte Carlo. As into the pits comes Akari. Revo follows him in, and Camino also into the pits. So Sebastian Ocampo will reclaim his lead of the E-Prix. Jaco Sagrana should come out of this in P2, and Akari might have just taken P3 here. Leo, his teammate's going to be the one they'll be racing on pit exit. And Leo currently ahead of his own teammate. Solos Kynes has found himself up into 4th. He's got to come into the pits again, however, so it's not hindering the Pinnacle driver's performance that much, and it definitely seems like now Weber needs to pick up the slack for Hyperdrive Racing with 9 laps left here in this most prestigious of Formula E Monopoly Championship racing. Neil Redding, the fastest first sector of anyone. He's currently in 12th position, trying to get past Marcus Nelson, who is currently right ahead of him. He's run a good place to try and get him down the tunnel. He's going to need all the straight line speed he can get, and he has all the straight line speed he can get. As out of the race has just gone Solos Kynes. Kynes facing the wrong direction at the chicane, and that is not how the Spaniards they wanted it to turn out. As into the walls come Marcus Nelson, Fachi Chan with a time penalty of his own, and Maldonado going through there as well with an issue. Bogdasar hitting the back of that Jaguar car. Marcus Nelson facing one direction. Leo has found the perfect opportunity to come into the pits on this lap. Iworld coming through there with no one and currently facing any sort of trouble. It is very contested out there at that chicane as the sky out darkens. There are clouds out there. Maldonado has had to come into the pit. He doesn't have damage to his car. Nelson's in, and so is Schumacher, but those guys ain't got damage. It definitely looks a little bit worrying out there. If you're just out there on dry tires, you might want to try and swap onto some wet pretty soon. Well, intermediate, because look at how dark it is out there. It's very dry, but you could guess that it's going to start raining pretty soon. And when it rains in Monaco, it pours. The cars are barely even able to handle it, and it makes no sense to me because these streets have existed for a very long time. We've got 7 laps to go here in Monte Carlo, and that's currently defending from UC0. That Nissan has a time penalty, the other one doesn't, and that's very deep from the 22, trying to defend 10th position. And from Yuki Suo, it's not going to matter at the end of the day, as into the pits comes the number 22 car for his 3rd and hopefully final pit stop of the E-Prix. As he can make the mediums last that long. Revo is definitely gaining on Akari there. He's set a fastest sector of anyone. Sebastian Ocampo still out there leading without a care in the world, to be honest. There is no threat for the Andretti driver. And we've got yellow. Virtual safety car out of the race has gone UK Ball, the Season 10 champion. The man who won this race back in Season 10. He is out of the E-Prix. As into the pits comes Sebastian Ocampo. Ocampo has come in to make the most of this opportunity. Now, is it dries going on to that Andretti car? Let's see. It is dries. It is mediums going on to that Andretti. Virtual safety car ending as the Pinnacle is into the pits. Same with Revo and Camino. So Tigranes should assume, no, it won't be Tigranes assuming the lead because Ocampo is already out there. Sebastian Ocampo is still leading this E-Prix. David Camino now, we see him coming to the pits. Akari is going to finish this race on mediums, lest it rains. If it does rain, then his teammate is going to benefit massively. And was that a little drop of rain I just saw? There are lights flashing on the back of that Toyota Gazoo car to denominate when he is using attack charge. When the rear wing flap opens, he's using attack mode. And he's trying to get past David Camino. He's trying to gain on Camino and defend it from Lawless to Clerk at the exact same time. It's not a job that I would try and envy, to try and defend and attack at the same time. Definitely looks very close to being wet. Bogdasarov under threat from Camino. Into the wall. It's gone down. Oh, Bogdasarov, the French driver, has just hit the wall. He's got himself out of it pretty okay. Track's cleared again. And so no retirement space from there. 5 laps to go here in Monte Carlo. And it is Ocampo from Tigranes, from Leo, from Akari. And I don't know if Leo's going to come in again. He probably will, but knowing the Pinnacle from the team, they are, they might keep him out. They might not. Suo comes in with more tyre wear than the number 30 car ever will. The team once known as Roden Toyota, now just known as Toyota Gazoo Racing. They've got the furthest pit box, and so it's quite the drive down. As we look to the race leader, Sebastian Ocampo, and he's definitely seeming to be struggling out there with his mediums. As he is leading quite comfortably, however, so I don't understand what he would be struggling with. Lap 15 of 19. Pinnacle currently holding on to a 3-4. Tigranes has come into the pits as Akari now up into the lead. Comes into the lead of that fight as Leo now dives into pit lane. So Akari should hold on to P2 if he can just make his tyres last this next 4 laps. And he's definitely making them last more than Revo is. 5% is the advantage he has over Revo, with an entire second between the two cars. This is going pretty well for a championship hopeful. However, when his biggest championship rival, Sebastian Ocampo, is ahead of him, and by 12 seconds no less, makes it less good. 4 laps left in the E-Prix. 4 laps between now and the checkered flag falling here in Monaco. And if he can just hold on to the race lead for Sebastian Ocampo, if he can do that as he begins lap 16 of 19, if he can do that, he can win. And we've got yellow flags in that second sector as Theodore Schumacher faces the wrong direction. The Skoda Volkswagen car faces the wrong direction. He's blocked his own teammate, and that's allowed Bob to get by. The MF1 world, a little bit of sabotage going down at Skoda, and Bob's gone past both cars, in fact. So Theodore Schumacher having an awful day. He's gone very wide coming through the chicane, almost hits the wall, in fact. Gabo comes into the pits on this lap as well to repair some damage and to change onto what should be hopefully soft tyres. Maldonado also coming in for his 4th and final stop. This race definitely looks to be at least a 3-stopper. Bob definitely fighting in the thick of it now, defending with attack mode over MF1 World. With 3 laps left in this E-Prix, it's quickly going to become 2 as Sebastian Ocampo has just rounded out the final turn to start lap 17 of 19. There is a heavy rain threat. There is a massive rain threat out there, but Theodore Schumacher has just come out on medium tyres. If it rains out here while everyone's out here on slightly worn to heavily worn softs and mediums, into the pits comes Revo. Revo trying to gamble his way into a race lead. Can he do it is the question. He's He's going to lose out on a podium that seemed definite. Sanchez also into pit lane, and on lap at the end of lap 18, pit lane will be closed. So there is no way. There is actually no way that it could start to rain as Sebastian Chantan has gone on to soft ice. There is also likely no way that Revo is going to be able to catch up to the race leaders. However, Sebo Campo struggling with his mediums out there. He could quite possibly lose out on the race lead if he doesn't pit, and he does pit. Into the pits comes the race leader. Akari coming through the final sector now. He's also struggling, and he's coming under threat from Jaco Tigranes. Home to the penultimate lap. We have just gone. Theodor Schumacher has just been able to unlap himself, and Akari has stayed out. Oh no! The number 10 car, he's gambling it all on this move. He's 4 tenths away from the race leader. He can sense victory right now, but his tires are working against him. He's got barely anything left in the tires, and with that, the grip has diminished. Jaco Tigranes sending it around the outside on Akari, who now drops down to P3. The Philippine driver, he sensed a potential race win, and it's just not going to come to him today. Tigranes has actually dropped off the back of Ocampo. Ocampo really going for it out there. Revo has not been able to make the most of his tires. This is now Akari. He's dropped off the back of Jaco Tigranes, coming through the chicane, almost hitting the wall there for the Philippine driver, but just about keeping it clean. Revo now on the back of a different Pinnacle Formula E team car. This time it's Leo, and he should be able to clear him pretty as soon as Sebastian Chantan has found himself in a little bit of trouble. Further ahead there, I believe that is Wallace Leclerc, who's just hit the wall, and Leclerc is definitely struggling out there with his medium tires. We're on to the final lap of the E-Prix with tires huffing and puffing to just get themselves to the checkered flag. Wallace Leclerc definitely out there, almost into the wall for the number 16 car. His teammate passes him and trying to pass him, rather, going around the outside. Yellow flags in the final sector. The track's been cleared. It says race direction for Wallace Leclerc. He's out there with 30% mediums. He's not going to make it to the end by any stretch of the definition. Into the pits has come Yuki Suo for the final time, and he has a front right puncture. Yellow flags in that final sector. Akari definitely struggling with his tires. Sebastian Ocampo as Jaco Tigranes currently in the wall. Akari facing the wrong direction, done a perfect 360, but coming through the final 2 turns, coming through Anthony Noes, it's Sebastian Ocampo who wins the Monte Carlo E-Prix as Leo's in the barriers. Virtual safety car, Akari out of the E-Prix. And Akari, the man who started on the front row, he will score no points today and lose out in his championship fight. And Ocampo will extend his championship lead by quite a lot. It's a 14-second race win over Jaco Tigranes. He dominated this event. Absolute brilliance coming from that driver's garage. Yellow flag still in the second sector, and there's also yellows in the third sector. There's still action out there. iWorld facing the wrong direction. Wallace Leclerc out of the E-Prix. And that's actually at the same spot that iWorld's struggling to get through, but he's got himself pointing the right direction now. 5% on the dashboard. No attack charge usable. And that is how this E-Prix is going to have to end. Oh. And this is the podium then. It's Sebastian Ocampo winning another E-Prix this season from Jaco Tigranes and Revo, who fought valiantly over P2, just didn't quite make it. Then it's Leo, David Camino, Milrez, Das Sanchez and T. Gabo, the top 8. Then it's Daniel Baltasar, F1 World and Marcus Nelson. Bob is 12, then it's Yuki Suo, Pastor Maldonado, Theodor Schumacher, Jan in 16th, with iWorld being your last finisher. Your non-finishers were Akari, Lars Leclerc, UK Ball, Solis Kynes and Einet Badness in the drivers' standings. That crash has definitely cost Akari quite a bit, because he's now only 1 point ahead of Daf Sanchez, with Sebastian Ocampo ahead of them both by a long mile. It's a country mile out there. He could wrap up this championship in only 5 races time. I'll let you look through the rest of the championship standings for yourself. In the Constructors' Championship, heading into our next round of the championship in Spa, Toyota Gazoo Racing leading the way from DS Andretti and Pinnacle Formula E team. Then it's Braun Honda Grand Prix and Hyperdrive Racing. Jaguar 7 points ahead of Nissan Nismo. Renault Edams currently in 8th from Lamborghini Mako and Skoda Volkswagen. And tied with Mercedes Formula E team, who have only scored with one of their drivers. We'll see you guys next time then for the Spa E-Prix.